Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Against the Storm, Warcraft III, wow, blast from the past, and Steam NextFest. But first, my name is Christian.
Bobby.
And I'm drunk because we are trying different audio this time. And we started an hour ago and we're getting a late start. And I've been drinking the entire time. So we'll look out for some, something grandpa would say that you're like, ooh, he's set in his ways, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's from a different generation.
It's a different generation. Yeah.
Something slightly problematic.
Yeah.
Well,
or
it
drunk
is
Mexican.
Super Bowl Sunday, so being drunk in the daytime seems appropriate.
Who's playing? Taylor Swift is against which team?
Well, I know, dude, it's so funny. I just made a $200 bet, right? For the 49ers, because that's my family's team. They're all going nuts. Two of my nieces were 49er cheerleaders, like because their dad died and he was a huge thing and it was a life goal for them. It's a whole thing amongst the family. I don't know who the other team is. I just bet $200 on the Niners straight up. And
Well, because it's football, it's either a bird or something racist.
I thought that was baseball. Okay. Forget football. That's a game, but this is a show about different games. And on this show, we ping things. We've always pinged things, right? We've always punged.
Dude, I'm not going to disagree that
It sounded right.
Yeah,
It really
pong
sounded-
is the past tense of ping. I am
Past tense of ping.
100% convinced.
Okay, perfect. So this is a new segment. Basically, we're just bringing something to your attention. We used to have a segment called News. News Kick the Can. This is a way to bring back news, but not only news, just anything worth mentioning around gaming or maybe even around our personal lives. And I'll start it off. Have you guys seen the new Halo show? It's on season 2 now. Have you guys seen any episodes of it?
No, but it is inundated over all the podcasts that I listen to. Like they are pushing it super hard. So I keep hearing the same commercial over and over.
Yeah. Bobby, no Halo for you?
I have not, no.
Okay. Famous watcher of TV, Robert Digital here. So Pablo Schreiber, who plays Master Chief, was on a CBC radio interview, and I listened to it. I was in the car picking up an Xbox 360 because my big plan for my brother's birthday was I was going to rent this Xbox 360. We were going to sit down and we were going to play through Halo 3, which we've probably beat together maybe 20 times in our childhood. We were going to stay up all night. We're going to have our favorite snacks, and we're just going to try to be children for a little bit again.
What a great idea, dude.
Yeah, and so as I'm picking up the Xbox to play Halo 3, I hear this Halo 3 interview, and Pablo Schreiber is giving it, and he's going through his life, how he became an actor, and how he played Halo as a kid, and he was talking about how the Master Chief is this kind of, this faceless character for a reason. He's like stoic and heroic, but he's meant that anyone can kind of see themselves or imprint whatever you want of the character to that character, faceless.
Or they couldn't spare the pixels, dude. I feel like they couldn't spare the pixels.
Either or.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a design or an artistic choice informed by, physical limitations. But in any case, he was talking about the challenges playing through the character, and I just thought it was a really interesting interview because if you don't know, in Halo, the Halo series, Master Chief takes off his mask. And that's a big no-no for a lot of angry fans online. And instead of kind of, like the interviewer asked the question, is it hard playing something that's so dear to people's hearts? Basically, people have strong opinions about this character. He was like, yeah, it is. And he went through this like really good reason why that might be, instead of, just being like, these are dumb people with dumb opinions. And sure, probably some of them are dumb. But taking off Master Chief's mask is a big deal for a lot of people, and so he was just trying to do the best character that he could envision, and you could tell that he was pretty passionate about the part. So it's a good interview. CBC Radio, the national broadcaster, you can Google it and check it out. And because of that interview, I'm going to be trying to watch Halo. I think it's the next show.
No chance that this guy was spoon-fed those answers in order to promote it and be appreciated by both new people and Halo lovers alike, because it seems like it does answer. I'm just throwing it out there.
Spoon-fed or media trained, depending who you ask. But he is a Canadian. He grew up in Canada, and so they were asking.
So he can't lie.
Yeah, like
It's like
legally,
a paladin.
yeah, valid. He has a sacred covenant where he can't lie. But there were a lot of questions about his childhood, and I don't know. Yeah, he probably had some media training, but it also seemed pretty genuine. So
I'm glad that you were fooled, man.
yeah, yeah, I
Playing
was.
right into their hands.
Yeah, yeah. We're not going to be fooled by what Emilio has to bring up, right?
I don't have my notes up. Where'd they go? Here they go. All right. So, yeah, apparently, Neuralink is one of Elon Musk's company. It's the one where they want to put a chip in your brain, man. But it's not actually a chip. It's a like it might as well be a chip, really. It's something that reads your brain waves, right? But most of the other companies that are doing this, like you might have seen a monkey moving a robotic arm to feed himself. You might have seen somebody changing colors on a screen, and that was all done with like diodes or like sensors that were put on the scalp. You like shave somebody and you put it on the scalp and it reads that. But these crazy motherfuckers over at Neuralink are cutting a hole in the scalp, uh, in the skull, and putting a like this thing that has these wires, the very, very thin wires that go into the brain and read everything at a, the smallest scale that they can. And there's like 46, it's not wires. I'm using the wrong word. But yeah, it's basically these sensors that go down into your brain and pick up on all of this. So the accuracy of reading the brain is much, much higher. And they put it on the first person. Apparently he or she is doing okay, and everything's looking good so far. But that was like 2 weeks ago. We've been putting off our worth of ping for a little while here.
Dead. They're dead. They're fucking
they're
dead.
dead. Or took over the world, or took over Latvia. So yeah, anyway, I thought it was really interesting. The computer interface, oh, that's what they call it, a BCI, a brain computer interface. So that the product is called telepathy. The company is called Neuralink. And the first thing they're going after is like quadriplegic, so that they can control computers. If you control computers, you control like drones and all that kind of stuff to give them some kind of freedom. But yeah, they always get you with the humanitarian stuff, and then next thing you know, bombs are being dropped on you. But at least for now, it's exciting in a way.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw someone play Pal World with one of the external ones. It was like a viral clip. She could move her character and mine and bring up the crafting menu, but it was funny because she was trying to do stuff and it would do things not intended, and she was like "fuck," and then when she would swear or get excited, like something else would happen.
Yeah, that's funny.
I forget who the streamer was, but Bobby, what are you pinging the people, the folks?
Well, I'm here to let the people know that a new Lorcana set is coming out March 8th, Into the Inkling. So I haven't talked about it too much in the past episodes, but I've gotten pretty deep into Lorcana and Pixelborn, which is the online version of it. But new set is coming out March 8th, and I'm excited about it because it's a new set, it's new cards, it's probably new mechanics, but it's also got some of my favorite Disney characters. They got Scrooge McDuck. They got some of the characters from that Robin Hood movie from the 60s, I think. You know, the old one with the snake and
the bear.
Yeah, they're all animals.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. What's interesting is it has the exact same release date as the new Star Wars TCG, Star Wars Unlimited, which I'll be talking about later in the show. So I feel like there's some competition going on there.
Hey, Bobby, questions for you. So you asked me about buying things to protect your cards and stuff like that. Did you pull the trigger on that, or because I recently, so I'm starting to get back into physical magic. Starting to get back into digital magic, and I had all my cards in a paper bag, and it was lame, dude. So I spent like $50, and now my shit looks like legit for like a small collector, and I shared it on our Magic the Gathering channel that we have on our Discord, and Bobby asked about it. I'm just curious, like, are you at that level now?
Yeah, I bought the exact same thing you did. Yeah, I was trying to find a box to hold all my cards, and everything that I was finding just wasn't quite right. I needed something to hold some dice and some tokens, and a good amount of cards that protected it, and was like not gimmicky or anything like that. And so you had posted that one. It had all that, plus it had a spot to hold play mats too. So I thought
Yeah.
this thing just has everything. Like
Did you
it's
like?
really the only
Did you get
option.
it?
Yeah, I got the black and gray version. I think you had
Cool.
the black and blue, but it comes in a variety of colors. It's like Lethor Z or something. It had a weird name, but
Yeah, we'll link it. Where can we link that to share
well, it's
something
already in the
like that?
Discord. You can check it out in the
Okay.
MTG's channel. But yeah, if you're looking for cards, someone else had suggested Quiver, which is
I think that's the
it
name
just holds
brand one.
cards, but
Yeah.
it you actually sling it like a clip, like a quiver. It's like has a strap. So I guess it's better, like it's more mobile if you're walking around or something. But yeah, no, I needed something that'll hold it all or held all sorts of things.
Yeah. And I know I have a card segment later on, so we're gonna get into cards. Did you buy the Dragon Shield sleeves?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those things, like,
it's really the only way to go.
you really don't appreciate them until you buy a knockoff like I
Yeah.
did, and they're
Well, I
dog
mean, I
shit.
used to get those. I don't know if they're a Dragon Shield, but I used to get ones that were exactly like that, that had like a different color back, and then they're pretty thick. They're called outer sleeves. So you have your penny sleeves or your inner sleeves, and then you've got these like kind of larger ones that are the outer sleeves that are better for playing. Like they're for the decks that you play with. And I used to use those back like in the Star Wars CCG days, but yeah, these ones were great. They're a little expensive. I mean, you're paying about $12 for a pack of 100, but it's worth it.
Yeah. And my last question, Bobby, you were getting trounced online. I'm guessing you're realizing that's because they're using custom decks, and you were probably using a pre-constructed deck online.
No, I mean, when you play on Pixelborn, you can use whatever you want.
Right, right.
So you
But
can use
like,
whatever cards you want. So there's a dreamborn.inc, I think is the website where you can go and you can find like the top rated decks or what everyone else is using or new ones. And you can
oh,
just
okay.
download the link and put it straight into the game. So I've been having a lot of luck. I tried an evasive deck. It's all right. But I've been having a lot of fun with this ramp deck, which I think they have the same thing in Magic. You get a lot of
Resource.
resource out real quick, and then you spend it on like big characters.
Yeah, that's always fun for sure.
Yeah.
Big stompy is what they call it in Magic.
Mm.
All right, cool. What do we have next? Is it me
Do
again?
you have something big and stompy to talk about?
I do indeed. Thank you for that, man. That is I have never loved the vehicle more than I love my new vehicle that I just bought. I bought an F-150 Lightning. That is an all-electric pickup truck that Ford put out at an affordable price. Affordable for these days. I keep telling people well, it came out to after the California rebate. I'm going to be paying 47,000 for it, and for a pickup truck, that is extremely cheap. Um, Pickup full size pickup trucks are like 70,000 right now. So either I bought a piece of shit or not. But thank God for Reddit and subreddits. I was on the subreddit for a long time, um, just doing all the research, asking questions. People are so forthcoming with their information. It's so nice. So I picked up the truck about 5 days ago, 6 days ago, and it is great, man. I love it so much. I've had turbo sport, like cheap sports cars. I had like a turbo Eclipse, and actually had two turbo Eclipses from Mitsubishi, and it's not nearly as fast as this thing. This thing is 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. I've never even put it in sport mode because it's so fucking fast already. It has a giant. This is the thing that the big selling point was the frunk, which a lot of electric cars have, but since it's such a big vehicle, it has a huge frunk, and what that saves you from having is a box in the bed. Like those metal boxes that everybody puts in the bed. You don't need to have one of those anymore, so you get your full bed access all of the time. So that's great.
Mhm.
The size of it is gigantic, but I have 8 cameras all the way around showing me everything all the time. I have no blind spots. I don't know. I could go on and on. Like, I love the color. Yeah. Everything. I love the price. I'm super stoked about buying this, and
I
I was really sick about what I was driving around.
I was surprised about how short this truck was. You know, here when people buy like a new truck, like it's kind of ridiculous. You know, we're talking about like 7.5 feet, 8 feet, like top of the truck. Like you literally can't see anything in front of you. And so um, when you took a picture of your truck, I was like, oh, this is like not even as tall as you, or maybe as slightly as tall as you. Like, what do you think?
I feel pretty tall. Like I'm higher than most of the other trucks tonight, unless they're like they have big oversized tires on them. I'm higher than most. It's a big fucking truck, but this was Ford's, and rightfully so. You play around with these ideas and stuff. They shortened the bed a little bit. It's 5.5 feet, 7 feet when you put the tailgate down, which is not very big. But the cabin is gigantic and the frunk is gigantic. Um, so they really were pushing the, I guess, the family side of it less than the utility side of it, but you still
It's like
have
an
both.
SUV with a bed.
Basically, yeah, it really is. Luna, my 4-year old, got down from her car seat and was able to run around in the back seat. Like she had enough space where she wasn't turned sideways. She's running straight. Like there's so much leg room in there that it's crazy. Yeah, I could go on and on. I am in love with my truck right now. Like Sam heard me talking to my friend because he wants to buy one. So I was explaining it to him, and she's like, "You're talking like a girl right now. You haven't taken a breath in about 3 minutes." I'm like, I need to calm down. But yeah, it's because I despised what I was driving for so long because it wasn't my car. It was a hand me down from her when I bought her something super nice. So now I have something for myself, and I'm super duper stoked. Yeah.
Nice, dude. I'm happy for you. I won't go into the societal destruction of our public spaces at the hands of automobiles and their size creep right now. Of course, I wouldn't do that. But I will move on to highlights, games that we absolutely positively have been playing. And NextFest came around the corner, and Emilio checked it out. What did you like?
I think we agreed, dude, that like, you download 10 games and usually you can talk about one or two of them. And that's about where I was. I probably downloaded 8 games, and I'm not sure. This is something that happens every Next Fest for me because my playtime is so sparse. They always expire, almost always. I'm lucky that last night, I got to play, even though I downloaded last weekend. So I don't know if they're expanding the demo time, or maybe I just downloaded ones that have continuous demos. But I will say this: every single game that I played a week later had a tiny, tiny, tiny little patch. All of them. Um, I don't know if that's how they're verifying that it's still a demo. I don't know what it was, but all of them had a small update. So the only ones I have worth talking about right now are Tribes 3, which is not by High Res Games anymore, Bobby. I don't know if you saw that or even saw Tribes 3, but yeah, they must have sold the IP to another company. And it's funny because it's good because it's Tribes, but I can't see one discernible difference between Tribes 3 and Tribes 2, other than it's a different company. It's very, very, very strange. The graphics aren't better. Like the net code is it's demo. I get it. There's people playing, which is great. It's not hard. Even at 2 in the morning, I was able to find a 16-person game. But there is clipping, and yeah, there's drop packets and all that stuff. Not to a terrible weight, but it does exist. And for a game like this, you need incredible netcode. For those who haven't played a Tribes, 2 games made me buy a PC. It was Tribes 1 and EverQuest. I saw those. I played them at where I was playing Magic the Gathering. And I saw those 2 games, and I was like, yeah, I got to get into this. And so it's like this, like futurist. It's like Halo body armor type people, small, medium, and large, and you're playing capture the flag. And yeah, in Tribes 2, which was a new company again from the original company, they came up with this, like, sledding thing where you like go downhill to gain speed. You're kind of like sliding, and then you use your boosters on the next slope, and so you can like ski and get really, really fast, so fast that nobody can really catch you. And you have your weapons. None of them are hit confirm, whatever that thing is called, where it's like wherever you are aiming and you shoot, it's instant. Everything has bullet drop. Everything has time to travel, because everything's pretty slow, but it does massive damage. So it's all about timing things. So you're seeing somebody travel, you're seeing the rate of their travel, you're seeing where they're going to land, you're trying to time the trajectory. That's what I would say. It's all about trajectory. This entire game, the trajectory of your shot, the trajectory of their speed, their angle, velocity, all of that stuff, and it's all happening real time while you're sledding. So you can imagine how hard that is, and then how rewarding it is when you hit somebody, especially when you hit them in midair. I mean, that there's few shots in all of gaming that are more rewarding than an air-to-air disc shot. Sorry. So Tribes is still fun, but I don't see what Tribes 3 is presenting other than the IP being passed on to another company. I really don't see anything different. The other one is Demon Spore, top-down laboratory outbreak game where the laboratory, they're trying to make artificial meat, but the artificial meat will not stop growing. And so you're like a little scientist, you're running around and you're trying to stop it's like the Blob. If anybody remembers those movies or that concept, it's like this thing that won't stop growing. And you're trying to get through this maze of laboratories. There's a little bit of FTL in there where you are choosing a direction, and then also the main blob source is choosing directions randomly, and then if you intervene, I think you're pretty much dead. But it's your job to like kind of weave around them, but the whole time you're fighting, it looks a lot like Smash TV. I didn't understand the mechanics completely, so I didn't have a great time, but I really want to like this game a lot. Maybe when I understand it more, I'll like it more. But that's it. I got a cough. Somebody take over.
He's gonna die right here on the DL Gaming podcast. It's pretty intense. Oh yeah, get it all out, buddy. Okay, Against the Storm is the game that I'm going to talk about, and I've been wanting to talk about this game for weeks, and maybe even months since I first started up this game. It's taking control of my city builder life, guys. It is a dark fantasy roguelite city builder, and I gave City Skylines 2 Game of the Year for 2020, 2023, as you know. And I want to make a restaurant analogy, Bobby, and I'm going to look at your face based on how well this analogy is going. And if at any time it seems that your face is giving me, not so good, I'm going to stop the analogy. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm not a fan of analogies to begin with, so it's an uphill
never mind.
battle for
I'm
you.
not gonna look at your face. I'm gonna look out my window in front of me, and I'm just gonna pretend that I'm getting, support and love from the outside world. Okay, so City Skylines is like fine dining. You're setting all your tables perfectly. You're optimizing like the kitchen workflow, where cold food is stored, where hot food is stored. And the whole game, you're just trying to get better at that. You're hiring better employees. You're changing your layouts. You're completely destroying your original layouts in some cases, and you're building new ones based on, new industry that comes up or new buildings that you unlock. And that gameplay loop can be really fun. You're really trying to perfect something. Whereas Against the Storm is not like that at all. Against the Storm is like a burger shop that's open at like 3 a.m. There's no time to clean. There's no time to plan. and there's burger parts and condiments on the walls all around you, and it's chaotic and it's disgusting. And you can tell the guys in there are just trying to do their best, but they've got all these drunk people up front they have to serve. And you finally get your burger, and it's the best goddamn burger you've ever tasted. You know, like this is a quality establishment. And what Against the Storm does really well is I think this is the first city builder game to do this. The buildings you get are random. You know, you get 3 random cards to draw from throughout the game, and you pick them. And a lot of the times, the buildings are not useful to you because each building is specific to a resource, and some resources are map specific or location specific within the same map. So you'll get buildings that you won't use to the very end of the game, right at the start of the game. And opposite, you know, at the end of the game, you'll get a beginning building. You're like, fuck, I wish I had that at the beginning of the game. And it's frustrating and it's fast paced, but in all the right ways. And the city builder is meant to really enhance the city. You know, the city skylines, you can go from 10,000 people to 50,000 people, 100,000 people, a million people. In Against the Storm, you're limited. You know, the game is going to end in about an hour and a half reliably every single time. Your city is going to be destroyed, and that's just the game, and it's fun. The loop is basically you are trying to defeat the storm that destroys the land every so many years, and every city you build where you unlock these shards helps you understand the storm, so you have longer and longer to build your cities each time you successfully complete a city. It's also the only city builder with boss battles. I'm playing the city builder, right? I'm doing the gameplay loop. I'm about 20 hours in the game. All of a sudden, I explore this grove, and it's a fucking city builder boss battle. I'm like, what is going on? It's like, you need this many resources in 10 minutes, or we're gonna fuck your shit up. You need to go over here. You need to explore this. You need to go to 3 other groves. I'm like, oh my god, it has like the boss has phases in a city builder. It's crazy. And I'm scrambling, and it's so fun. This is like an amazing game. It's pushing the genre forward, I think, of city building. This might be a little bit too strong of an allegory, but like what Hades did for roguelites to introduce people to a new genre, I think Against the Storm can do for city builders, because it has all the logistics of a city builder, but it's in this really efficient gameplay loop that is just super fun. So if you're not a city builder fan, I would definitely try to play Against the Storm and see if you can get a proper introduction, because yeah, all the city building elements are there, and it's just a great fucking game. And I wanted to end on this. What city builder games have you both played? Like, have you played any?
SimCity, and I'm sure some other ones. I don't play a lot of them anymore just because they're so involved. But yeah, I used to love SimCity, and I was really excited for that new one that came out on EA. But of course, that was a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
Chi, right back when you had the homework thing, she made us play The Sims. I think I played The Sims 4, which is not really a city builder, but yeah, definitely was not my thing. I did play SimCity back in the day, and I think I played City Skyline. Bobby, you played City Skylines 1.
Yeah, I played City Skylines, the first one.
Yeah, you're saying it casually, but I feel like you really got into it. No,
I wouldn't say I really got into it. No.
no, it's funny because the old Bobby on the old podcast would definitely say he got really into it. But yeah, dude, basically, I think you're becoming a roguelike fan because I think you're enjoying the mechanics applied to different games, it seems like.
Yes, yeah, the roguelike mechanic works awesome across a lot of different genres, but
Yeah.
this never has been done for city builders before, and
Yeah.
I'm making the pitch to you guys. Like, if you were going to try a city builder, try Against the Storm. Like that's it.
Bobby said this probably like 2 years ago. He said that roguelike is not a genre so much as a mechanic, and I think that's true. It's being implemented in all things, and yeah, it's reached it. What's next? Like flight sim, roguelike
Flight
flight
sim
sim.
roguelike.
Every time
Yeah.
you crash, you get another wheel to land. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So
It seems like this game is very popular, though. I'm looking at it and I noticed that 11 of my friends have this on their wish list, and 10 of my friends already own it.
Yeah. It's popular in our community
that
too.
accounts for all 21 of your friends.
It's 100% rate of pickup among friends. Biblioclasm messaged me and he was like on Steam while I was playing it, he was like, "Have you seen the foxes yet? Have you got to recruit foxes to your town?" I was like, "I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the foxes yet, dude." He's like, "Oh, wait till you see the fox." And when I saw the foxes, I was like, "Oh yeah, foxes. That's where it's at. I need foxes in all my towns."
Wait, do you not? Are you I mean, are you anthropomorphic animals in your?
Yeah, you have beavers, foxes, harpies, and lizards, and humans.
And they
But
all have their.
they all have their perks and bonuses. And before you load into a map to make your city, they're kind of randomly attributed to you. So there's another mechanic there.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
they all have slightly different needs. Yeah, I don't want to get too far in the mechanics of it because there is a lot mechanically going on here that's super satisfying, and it's going to be hard for me. Just play the game, just go play it. But Bobby,
I applaud you for not spending 20 minutes explaining detailed mechanics of a game we've never played.
That's so funny because that's exactly what I'm going to do about Magic the Gathering Murders at Karlov Manor. But
prepare
Bobby,
yourselves.
before
what we
that,
do around here.
talk to me about a 25-year-old game.
Yeah, this game comes up a lot, man. And it's always me bringing it up. But last Friday, Christian and I got together to play some Warcraft III custom maps. And it's always, I have a tough time with these because I've never played a lot of them. And they really just throw you into a custom map. And there's no direction or anything. Like I'll try to Google a video really quickly just to get a general idea of what's happening, but they're very confusing. It's a very old game. There's a lot of stuff happening, and then you have no idea what to do. So I always do really bad at them at first, and that's what happened with the Risk map that we played. So there was a custom map that's Risk, and I could not figure out it the whole game. I'm like an old man. Like I'm just so confused. The whole game, I'm like, wait, where am I? Where's my character? What do I do? What's happening? And of course, I was obliterated quickly. But in my defense, part of the problem was I was my color was peach. That was the color of my team. And there was another team whose color was a wheat. And I couldn't tell the difference between the two because they were so close. Like a peach is it's like pink, but a little tan. And then wheat is just like a light brown. And I don't know.
So what you're saying is you don't see colors, Bobby.
Not a difference between these two, at least not on that tiny mini map.
How about Peacecraft is what Bobby's saying. We're all the same color.
Peacecraft.
Well,
yeah.
Bobby, when we were playing it, I'm going to be low-key honest with you. I didn't know if you were doing something completely different because I was taking Iceland and I was doing an invasion. I got wiped almost immediately too. But when I was doing that, I was like, "Bobby, how's it going?" He's like, "I don't know where I am." But it had been like 7 or 8 minutes. Like,
yeah. Well, first of all, no, it hadn't been that long. But first of all, I have no idea what we're doing. Like, I have zero concept about how like the mechanics of the game, like the goal of it, like what you're supposed to do. So then we load in, and then there are bases and areas all over, and they're all different colors. Like there's maybe 15 different colors. And so I eventually realized, okay, you have to each area you own spawns units, and then you have to send them to another place to take those over. But then I couldn't figure out where I was. So every time I got attacked, I said, "Oh, okay, there it is." But then, that got taken. So yeah, I just had a terrible time with that one. Did not work out. But we found another custom map called Darkest Dungeon. So I was like, wow, we got to check this out. Now, the game was full. You can only have 8 players in it, and there was 1 slot left, so we couldn't get into it together. So we decided to make our own, what do you call it?
Map.
With cocaine,
yeah, map.
It was way cooler than their Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah. So we started our own queue, and it was just us two. And I said, let's just start it up to see what this is about. And they did like kind of a good job, I guess. It was an interesting take on Darkest Dungeon. First of all, I think they took all the audio and the music from the original game and put it in. And what they did was
completely
yeah,
legally.
yeah. I mean, it's a custom map.
It's
I
a
mean,
custom map. Take it easy.
Yay! Let's
Blizzard
steal everything for
technically
free.
owns it anyway, like that weird clause they had when they brought the custom maps back. So nobody can get away with making another Dota and make a bunch of money without Blizzard having a say. Anyway, we loaded into Darkest Dungeon, and they had the mini map where you could decide where to send your characters, just like in the Darkest Dungeon game. But when you got in there, you had these, I don't know, puzzles you had to solve, and then if somebody died, you had to stand around them to revive them, which took a really long time, at least with one character. So we didn't last very long. It was rather difficult, but maybe with more players, it would have been fun.
That one has the bones to really be fun, I feel like. Like, I was like, after we kind of got it, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing here, and this could be really fun with like a full party.
Yeah, but you got to have a full party for that to work, I think.
The downside with all these mods and stuff is like they're very cool and stuff, but you're going up against people this is all they do. And there's no matchmaking, or it's just randomly
the
put
cool
together.
part about the Darkest Dungeon game was that it was like a co-op experience, which is what I think we should be keeping to. Like, going in, you're right, to play Risk, we're going to get fucking obliterated every time, because that's probably a game that someone plays for like 100 hours. But
and it's hard to find. It's hard to find maps. I mean, you can sit in a queue forever and ever waiting for it to fill up, and then somebody says this is too long, and they leave. Like it can be hard to get a game going in the custom maps. But we had pretty good luck that night. The game that really, or the custom map that really impressed me was Star Wars Blood. And this was an auto battler where you buy characters and then you send them out to fight one of your other opponents. You know, there's like 8 or 10 people we're playing against. And based on how much damage you do, you get points, and then there's 2 types of currencies. You can spend those and get more units. The difficult part of it was understanding the upgrade path. Like, one of the guys we played against in our second game built a Death Star. And first of all, it was hilarious to watch like a Death Star just walk around and like zap stormtroopers and speeder bikes. Like, why would a Death Star be doing that? It even had the green lasers, you know, in the first Star Wars movie, that's why, where they blow up Alderaan.
Dude, it was so good modded. It was amazing to see. Yeah.
What shot Alderaan?
Comically large.
What happened? But Alderaan got shot on the game?
Sorry, dude.
No, not in the game. Not in the movie.
Oh,
I was saying in the movie, you know, when they fire up the Death Star and it has the green lasers that intersect and then blow up the planet. Well, it was using that, but just like shooting a stormtrooper.
Oh, I thought you were doing a bit where you were like, spoilers, bro. Alderaan got blown up. Sad. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, we all know that, dude. We live in a post-Alderaan world here. But it was fun, but I couldn't figure out how to get the cool units, you know, because the upgrade path was just very confusing. But that was the game I would go back to. I had a real good time doing it, and of course, it had all the Star Wars characters with the models and everything. And
it was fun,
you know, like
dude.
any auto battler, like you have to just like play it enough to learn like which characters counteract other characters, and then you do the counter build. You see what other people like. I can barely figure out what I'm doing. I can't go and look at my opponents and say this guy's building anti-air, so I need to build these units. Like, I'm not even at that level yet, but I had a good time.
Dude, it's Sheev Palpatine destroying whole armies with his Force lightning. That needs to be nerfed. Where the makers of Star Wars Blood Auto Battler, if you're listening, you got to nerf Sheev, bro. He's too powerful. Yeah, Bobby, after you left, I played Lord of the Rings Blood Auto Battler. They have a bunch of different blood types. Someone in the game was describing to me about like any genre you want. It played exactly the same, and there was exactly the same amount of factions. So I'm thinking maybe they have the same stats. They're just remodeled.
Yeah, they just reskinned it for sure.
Yeah. Amelia, what were you gonna?
This just in. So somebody that on my friends list is playing Helldivers 2. I guess that's out now. It came out on the 8th, which is just a few days ago. I guess it's sitting at mostly positive 75% with almost 26,000 reviews, which is a huge
it's
amount.
at the top of the top seller list on Steam. It's doing really well, and it looks very different. Like, not that top down strategy type game. Yeah. Breaking news here.
Very interested in this.
Yeah, I think it's $40.
40. Okay, a little less interested now. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. 75%
All
is
right.
not worth $40 in my
Yeah.
book.
So, people have been telling me we haven't been talking nearly enough about Magic. So, Emilio, I hear you have
Yes.
some
Dude,
some
I get
Magic the
DMs like
Gathering.
that all the
Do you
time,
really?
dude. Constantly. Yeah. People are like, when are you going to talk about Magic again? Actually, can you do a
Interesting.
whole episode devoted to just Magic? That's what they say.
Basically what I'm about to do. Magic the Gathering's new expansion just came out, new set. I think they do like 3 a year. Murders at Karlov Manor came out. So it's a murder mystery. And it's funny because I do this like every 2-3 years, but what Magic is like you're playing as a planeswalker. You Emilio are playing as a planeswalker, somebody who can traverse dimensions and also summon creatures from different dimensions. So when you summon a goblin, you're summoning a goblin from the fiery Mount Doom dimension, and you're bringing him to the dimension that you're fighting in, and he fights for you because he's like your slave now. So it's all about like dimension hopping. Way before like Marvel got into it or DC, Magic this was the concept, and so that's why they can tell so many stories, and this is why they can have a Fallout one, and this is why they can have Warhammer 40K, because they're dimension hoppers. So it just plays right into all this new IP stuff is great. Murders of Karlov Manor is a lot more close to the chest. It's just a return to one of their older dimensions, but now it's so small. It's just what happened at one mansion as opposed to an entire dimension. It's crazy, like they can zero down into a night at one mansion versus what's going on in an entire dimension. It doesn't
Is
really
it like a
matter.
game of Clue? Like murder, like I
That's what
killed
they're
Mr.
going for.
Karlov?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the story I'm not too into. I don't know anything really about it. I know that the same characters always show up every time you like a new thing comes out. So not only are you a planeswalker, but you can snatch other planeswalkers to your army and they fight for you. And so like you'll have a card that's a planeswalker, and
Oh.
that card has abilities like a player. And so they
It's
don't
like
like it, but
a
they're
Russian nesting
subjugated.
doll set. Like
Yeah,
they
pretty
will
much.
summon a
Yeah.
planewalker, and
Yeah.
that planewalker will summon a.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. That's
Wow.
what happens. And so not every deck has a planeswalker in it, but they are very fun to play with. Anyway, that's why you can have the usual suspects. That's why you can do a murders at Karlov Manor, because all those planewalkers were all summoned to like the same dinner, right? And then so you have dinner, and one of them ends up dead. Blah blah blah. So anyway, even though you're going from crazy dimension to another crazy dimension, it's always the usual. So a lot of times it's usual suspects, and then there's usually a planeswalker from that dimension that's introduced, and that's how you get introduced to that dimension. Anyway, so mechanics is how they tell the story of what's going on. So it's a whodunit, right? Murder She Wrote. And so these are the new mechanics for this set. Suspected. Any character can be suspect. If that character is suspect, it gets some pluses and some minuses that I won't explain, but it's like you might want to suspect your own creature in order to get some pluses. You might want to suspect an enemy's creature in order for the minuses. So there's that. I thought disguise was very clever. Characters with disguise you can play face down, and they are a certain kind of character when they're face down. And then at any point you can just, this is who I really am, and surprise somebody. Like if somebody attacks it, you could be like, nope, I'm way bigger than I was pretending to be, and I am immune to your bullshit. So I thought that played into it very well. Collect evidence is probably the most on the nose one for like a murder mystery. So you go through your graveyard, which is things that have happened right in the past, and you go through those cards and you get rid of them. And so you're looking through the past, so you're collecting evidence, and it's a way of paying. It's another currency. I like that one a lot. And then there's a card called Meddling Youths, which is basically a play on. I mean, there's a lot of cards that are like this, but this is a play on Scooby Doo, and it said like I would have got away with it if it wasn't for these meddling youths and their uncharacteristically intelligent hound that they had or something like that. And as a picture of them, I thought it was very cute. But like, I'm not a fan of the murder mysteries. I'm not a fan, but I just want to like zoom in on why, like how Magic does 3 sets a year.
Have you ever done one in life? In real life, a murder mystery?
No. I've heard there's dinners that you can go to, pay to, and do the whole murder mystery thing.
I went to one of those once.
Did you figure it out, Bobby?
No.
Were you the
murderer? Dude. Were you it?
I was not the murderer. No.
He's still on the loose. Get him.
They haven't caught me yet. So they release 3 a year, and I'm wondering if that's what Lord Canna is going to try to do, because I think that game came out like maybe 6 months ago, and they're already on their 3rd set or something. So they're really tearing through it. But I'm sure there's some sort of rule, like you can only play these cards with these cards, right? Or this set with that set. I think you've talked about that before.
There's 3 ways you can play Magic. Standard or modern, which is like the last 2 years of cards. And that's the most popular, and that's the most money-driven one. Most of the tournaments are all modern. Most of the like big money, $80,000 first place prize stuff is all modern. And that's what drives the whole machine, right? Mm-hmm. But like now as an older man, and I don't really care about that much, and I would rather just play what I want. I like the middle one, which is Explorer. And that is the last like 15, 20 years of cards, excluding the most broken ones. And so you play that, and you play a whole range of decks. Like you can play all day and you won't see the same deck twice. Now, if you go back to modern, you'll keep seeing the same decks over and over because they're just downloading the most powerful ones and then like playing that. But if you play Explorer, you'll see a lot of like more, I feel like, passion in decks. Like if you really like zombies, you'll see
more creativity.
More creativity for sure. Because there's 15,000 cards to pull from. And then there's Historic, which is like the ultra powerful first cards that ever existed. That it's almost not even worth talking about.
I imagine because Magic has been around so long that there had to be some sort of cutoff point. I know that it created a huge problem with the Star Wars CCG game. They kept introducing more and more mechanics, and they never really had any sort of cutoff point. You could use whatever you want. And there were just decks that were eventually became absolutely broken. Like they had to, and it's tough to correct for that stuff in a physical card game. You can't put a patch out on physical cards or tell everyone, hey, this character's actually only +3 health now or something. It's
in Magic you can in a way because they will put out a bulletin to all people that play. It's just like this card is now banned, and that's it. You don't get your money back.
They just ban the card.
They just ban a card, or it's banned in Extended and it's banned in Modern, but it's okay in Historic, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That happens all the time. At least like 2 or 3 cards a year will
they're just like, we messed up on this one, folks. Sorry.
And
what happens to the value of those cards?
The value will skyrocket, dude. It's like a stock market. It'll go 400% and then it'll drop 500% as soon as it gets banned. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Bro, do you think there's fucking insider trading for Magic the Gathering?
So there's
they're like, we're gonna ban fucking Krako's fucking dagger. And then
the price can only go down. If you could unban a card, then that's a different story.
No, but it would. Oh wait, why would it? Yeah, sorry, Emilio. Nick has talked about the insider trading before.
There's a YouTuber that he was called, like, his name is like Magic the Gathering Stocks, or something like that. And he's very good at predicting the value of certain sets and how much you should buy for investment and versus how much you should play. So right now I'm barely getting into all this. And so Commander's very big, and most of the Fallout set's about to come out. If you want all 4 Commander decks for Fallout, there's no regular cards. None of those Fallout cards are going to be in standard. I should have mentioned this. It's not going to be in standard. It's not going to be in Explorer. It's not going to be in historic. Commander is its own world, and you get to play all kinds of shit in Commander. That's why, and it's very personalized. Like, you can really show your personality when you play Commander. And so these crazy universes are only in the Commander realm because you can do crazy shit in there. It doesn't matter. Like, everybody's just trying to have fun. And so, but they're very expensive. So to buy all 4 is like $200 right now, but it's almost a guarantee that each one of those decks is going to be worth like $400 within like 3-4 years, just because like it's one printing, and then so people that find out later on, oh, there's a Fallout one, oh, I want to buy one. And so yeah, so you can,
so invest early. Hot stock tip right here.
Nick's talking about buying 4 for his own personal play, and then 1 and 4 for investment. And your investment one will pay for the play one if you want.
Okay, listen to the show in 10 years when we figure out, did it pay off? Did it pay off? But that's not the game we're playing, Emilio, right now. We're not playing Did It Pay Off? We're playing Movie Pop Quiz.
Yeah. So, Bobby, you posted your letterbox, and Sam found it incredibly interesting, even though she knew that you were kind of a film buff. And she's like, I wonder what Bobby thinks about my favorite films. So we're going to do a little rapid fire. Maybe just give me a 1 to 5 stars, and if blurb if you want, but you could just keep.
Okay. Do I have to have seen it?
Of course.
All right. So if I haven't seen it, I'll just say, nope, haven't seen it. All right.
Yeah. Of course. Or you can just make up a set. Okay, here we go. Stranger Than Fiction.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, well, this is going to go poorly. Silver Linings Playbook.
Good. Oh, 1 to 5? I'd say
stars.
4. Stars. 4.
4. Okay.
Wait,
blurb? No. Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna check his letterbox as he's giving the reviews to see if there's a difference in stars.
That one wouldn't be in my letterbox.
That was on my private list.
Have seen it.
No, I've only been logging in Letterboxd since 2020 or the December 2019.
Oh, because you only watch modern films? Is that what you're saying?
No. I mean, that's when I started watching it. But if you look at my Letterboxd, it surprisingly is like I watch the most movies in the current decade, and the next highest decade is the decade before that, and then the decade before that. Like, I surprisingly do watch more modern movies than I do old ones.
40-year-old virgin.
Oh my God. 4 stars. That one probably is in my letterbox. Can you check that, Christian?
I can't easily search your reviews, but I'll find it.
Okay. Superbad.
Haven't seen it in a long time. 3.5 or 4, maybe.
Wow. I'd give that one 4.5, maybe 5. Yeah.
I got to see if it's as good as I remember.
Modern classic, I think. Mars Attacks.
Oh, okay. That one's in my letterbox. 3.
Oof, that's what one. Okay,
yeah.
That was it.
I got some opinions on that one.
Very disappointed that she didn't get any 5 stars from you. Because she's like, oh, the Barbie movie is the only thing that got 5 stars from him. Let me see what he thinks about my movies.
Which Barbie movie? I was like, so much hype. I was like, this is a good movie, but was it the best movie of all time?
You don't understand that you're a contrarian, Christian. You haven't understand this about yourself yet. Like, you don't. Yeah, you haven't been told enough. You haven't gone against the grain so much enough that you're like, oh, I automatically take the opposite position on things.
I think there was other 5 stars this year too, but for some reason the roundup only shows like one that it deems to be the highest. So
I see.
All right.
Okay, that was fun.
I'm still listening. Yeah, I thought you were listening. Oh. We're waiting for you, Christian. You can't. You can't look up individual movies.
Okay.
No, I can't look up the individual ones. I have to scroll through his whole list. But I'm just like,
I'm curious about 40-year-old version. That's the only one that I think I don't know. I watched it recently and I was like, man, this really does hold up. And it like started a whole new thing, like the whole Judd Apatow wave. So I feel like I gave that one 4 stars, but all right. So is it time for On the Radar?
It's time for On the Radar, games we're excited to play. Oh, you are excited about this. Star Wars?
Star Wars Unlimited. Yes, this is the new TCG coming out. I think I put this on the radar maybe a year ago, like a long time ago when they had just announced they're coming out with a new TCG. But now we know all about it. And even though it's coming out on March 8th, right up against Into the Inklings, the new set for Lorcana, it is, well, just like the new set for Lorcana, it is available in certain card shops in like a what they call pre-release events. So there's a card shop not too far from me called Bards and Cards. I go there every now and then, buy not necessarily cards, but things that I need. And there's always like a bunch of sweaty dudes playing Magic at some tables in the back. Like it's a cool spot. But they have all these card shops, they have like these calendars of like events that are going on. So the Star Wars Unlimited pre-release event, I think, is like in February. You can get for a pretty decent price, you can get like all the starter kits, and they're going to be playing the cards, and you get like some other bonuses or benefits to it as well. I don't know. I may check that out. So if you look online, there's plenty of YouTube videos explaining how this game works and the general mechanics of it. And it kind of seems a little like Hearthstone to me, almost, where you have a base card, like, and it's all the iconic Star Wars locations, like Echo Base or, something on Kashyyyk or something like that. Your base has a bunch of hit points, and that's like what determines if you win or lose. If you lose all the hit points on your base, then game's over. But you also have a leader card, which allows you to do a lot of different things, and then at one point in the game you can flip it over and use it in battle. But that kind of reminded me a little bit of, I haven't played much Magic, but I think Commander. I don't know, you have like this really powerful character that you could use for things, but it looks interesting. I don't know, I might check it out, but the problem with investing in these card games is I never have people to play them with until DLG Con comes around. But
dudes, hang around the sweaty. Emilio, please be quiet. Hang around the card shop with those sweaty MTG players and be like, hey, have you guys heard about that new Star Wars TCG coming out?
Dude, that's a great idea, because I looked around at other card shops in San Diego and there's a ton of them. There's even one up by where my girlfriend lives where they have like Lorcana every week. And I used to do that with the Star Wars games, but I was super confident in that game. Like, I don't know, because so I was down at Bards and Cards in San Diego, like a couple weeks ago, buying some Dragon Shield sleeves, and there's like probably 10 of these guys in the back playing, and 2 of them are having an argument over like mechanics or something. And then of course, one of the guys who works there, who is like the all-knowing, like settled the score for him. And I'm just like, I don't know if I can handle this, dude. Like, I don't like feeling like an idiot at my age.
Every tournament needs to have a judge. There's levels to judging too. There's like level 1, 2, 3, 4 of judges.
What a life.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby, you could be the all-knowing. You could be. They're like, call over Robert Digital. He'll know about the Star Wars TCG. But Bobby, you just got into a card game, Lorcana. Are you saying you're going to get into 2 card games?
Yeah, I don't know if financially that's a good idea, but I do. I loved playing Star Wars CCG, and I love just being into a card game, like with physical cards and collecting them, like the whole thing. So I don't know if I'm just kind of like putting all that on Lorcana, like, okay, you're my thing now. Like, all right,
you accept it.
Yeah, but
I wish
my girlfriend is like, please stop.
Curious about that, Bobby. So you and your girlfriend started playing Lorcana together, but now you're a maniac, right? And she's left with her like little starter deck.
No, I mean, we all use the starter deck. So I bought the other 3 ones. So now I have 5 decks, and we've been playing the different ones, and she kind of likes one more than the others.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's going well. It's so funny to play with her though, because she's a normal person who hasn't like devoted her life to like useless
Gaming
things
and-
like video
yeah.
games.
Yeah.
So the things that are difficult for her to understand are just like second nature to me. Like
Right.
the hardest thing that she struggles with in Lorcana is the challenges or when you attack a character and you add up like hit points versus health.
Right.
And for me, like I look at the table and I'm just like, okay, I could take that guy out and sacrifice this guy. That guy can take that guy out, survive with 1 hit point. Like it's like boom, instantaneous. But she's
Yeah.
like, okay, so this and then this and then that and then that. And
And
I'm
she's
like,
a smart girl. I've spoken to
yeah,
her.
she's very smart, but it's like when you don't play, she never played video games.
Right.
And that's like the foundation of video games, right?
Yeah.
Like hit points and attack power. And
Yeah.
so she had a tough time wrapping her head around that, but she's kind of got it now.
Christian,
Now-
you said that you were going to try Lorcana for you and your girl, but did you pull
I
the
did.
trigger, or is that not in the global yearly fucking?
We have to
Now
make
the
some
budget.
We have to make some adjustments to the budget.
How about a
spreadsheet.
lemonade stand, dude? Like,
Yeah. No, I do have to do some extra stuff, make some money for the Lorcana addiction for sure. But I wanted to get Lorcana more for my sister and brother-in-law because they are huge Disney people. And we play board games together, but we haven't got into a physical card game. And also, I haven't been into a physical card game since Pokemon when I was in high school, right? So
it's
been
definitely better for sure. Face to face, just like a conversation or a meeting. It's always better face to face. Bobby, if you guys learn Commander, I will. It's so complex.
Really, Commander's harder than regular Magic.
Yeah.
I thought
what will
that's
you
what
do
we
if
were
we
playing.
learn? What will you do? I want to know what you will
Well,
do.
if Bobby and his girlfriend learn, then I'll teach Sam. Sam's like
Oh, I don't know if she's going to learn.
25% of the way there. Then we could have like Commander nights, which is generally like a 4-person night.
That could
Oh
be
boy,
fun.
I don't know, man. I'd be interested in getting or learning Commander. Just my nephew is really into Magic, or at least he was, and I think that'd be fun to play with him. But I don't think there's any way Pilar is going to go for that.
Yeah.
But I'm vaguely interested in Commander, although it
You can
seems
make
pretty
a cat
expensive.
deck, you know? Yeah. Oh shit, I lost the show notes. Here we go. All right. I didn't know that we're all doing radar and pinging. I thought pings for games were going to be inside of, so that's news to me. I didn't add anything.
Do you want to? Does everyone listening and you
I'm
want to
good.
hear? Okay. Anyways,
Yeah.
WorldBox God Simulator is the game I'm going to quickly talk about on the radar. So this is a 2D pixel petri dish civilization sim. It reminds me of a mashup between Black and White and Spore. Not a lot to talk about it right now. It's $19.99. It's made by one person, so really the indie-ish of the indie games. Games made by one person. Always want to try them out because they're doing pretty cool stuff. It looks awesome. It has awesome reviews. And the main thing I wanted to ask is, should we play Spore again? Like, should we go back and play Spore?
We should always play Spore again.
Dude,
I think it was a triumph, dude. Like, I had never talked to non-gamers more about a game than I ever talked about Spore to people. You don't understand. You start as a single cell, and then you end up being a civilization, a spacefaring civilization.
Dude, it's fucking crazy. It's awesome.
Crazy. Like, how is there not a Spore 2 with modern day computing?
It's incomprehensible. Why not? I remember Spore blew my fucking mind. And yes, at the end, it turned into an RTS where you were conquering people. You had like artillery and you went from planet to planet.
I mean, you could also befriend them too. But yeah.
Okay. Didn't know you. It's fine. I mean,
I don't make love to the whole world, dude.
I didn't feel bad about my decisions in Spore.
Not Warcraft, Peacecraft. We've gone over this.
Peacecraft, yeah. The difference between peach and wheat are too small. We should all unite. Yeah, I think it would be fun if we did all go back and play Spore.
I did it not long ago. I did it like 4 years ago.
And did it hold up? Was it fun?
No, it was super fun. I played it all the way through, and I got to space. Yeah.
I'd check out Spore again.
I'm going to do it very quickly so people don't you have an idea. You're a single cell life form in a petri dish, and you go around eating other animals or plants, and so that's when you make your decision if you're going to go carnivore or herbivore. And then you keep every time you then you have to mate, and every time you mate, your next generation is an evolution, a huge jump in evolution, to the point where you have fins now or whatever it is. And then you keep doing that all the way until you have cities, and it's crazy, man. And the crazy part is you don't pick like what you're gonna you do pick what you're gonna look like, but the amount of variations is you'll never ever ever come up with the two same things twice, because you'll pick a certain mouth, but once you pick that mouth, you can stretch it out or put three mouths on it or whatever the fuck. You can fly, you can walk, you can fucking you have a mating dance, you have a mating call, you have, oh my god, you're gonna catapult fucking tails. It's insane. It's insane that this was done 20 years ago.
So I am going to pick up WorldBox God Simulator, but the main point is
Spore.
I'm going to go back and play Spore. And I think we should all do that. Yeah.
But where is it? I know that it's on EA Origin.
Yeah.
Is it on Game Pass?
I don't know. I don't know where it is, but I know it's on EA Origin at least. That's where I saw it last.
It's not freeware at this point.
Dude, it fucking should be. Maybe we should pirate it.
See, I'll see what's up about it, but I would rather play it on with all the mods. There's all these part mods, that official ones, 300 new parts, and I said, each part can be stretched and changed.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, WorldBox God Simulator by Maxim Karpenko. I am gonna pick this up. It's in my cart right now. I do want to play it. It looks awesome, but you reminded me a little too much about Spore. I mean, it's 2D, but kind of the same concept, Yeah. But the awesome thing about Spore was that it was 3D, dude. You could go all the way around a planet. It just
so ahead
awesome.
of its time, dude. So ahead of its time.
Yeah. Okay. We're moseying on down. We're guessing that sound, guys. There's $65 in this pot, and you haven't sent in a guess to pixelshitshow@gmail.com that's been right. All of you have tried, and all of you have failed. Do you want to be a failure? Is that what you want? Do you want to sit at home and not get this sound? I'm gonna play this sound right now, just so we know what we're working with. Okay, it's this. It's easy. You just tell me the game and what's happening to make the sound, okay? Patrons get 2 guesses, so when you email pixelshitshow@gmail.com, just make sure you're emailing with the same email you used to sign up with Patreon. This week, Marco sent in a guess, and he said, guys, it's the melee attack in BioShock. How we feeling on this answer? Bobby, Emilio, you remember what that sounds like?
I feel like that's pretty high, especially with that steamy sound in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is the first one I really liked.
Yeah.
I
could see that being right. I don't know for sure, but I could see that being the correct answer.
Maybe BioShock hitting not like character, but hitting a pipe. But who knows?
Well, somebody did guess the hacking sound or the hacking in BioShock, right? Wasn't that a previous guess?
I don't think it was the hacking in BioShock, but it was the hacking in... I forget. Sorry.
What's the answer, Christian?
The answer is... It's not right, Mark.
Is it partially right?
No, it's not partially right. I can say it's not partially right, but...
At a certain point, dude, we're going to have to, give the answer and then switch to another sound, because it's never going to happen. We're going to owe these people $100,000.
$2,000.
$2,000. 5 years down the road, we're still guessing the Tinker Tonk sound. Okay, so you didn't get it this week. That's okay. You're listening to this right now. You want to make $70 because that'll be what the pot is in next week. But Bobby and Emilio, right now, they have a chance to help you. They have a chance to do a fun little game, and they will unlock a hint for you. And the fun little game is just, I want to ask these guys what they know about me, what they know about one of the best people they know. And I want to ask them, what was the first city builder that I, Christian, played and talked about not that long ago on this very podcast that you listened to? What was it?
What? The first one ever?
I want to say Pharaoh.
Okay.
First city builder you ever talked about?
No,
Played.
he ever played, but he talked about it recently.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
listen.
I guess we're going with Pharaoh.
Luckily, it was Pharaoh. Nice job, Bobby. Way to remember
wow.
the small details. And this is an exciting one. So our previous hints were first person, melee, and this hint is mod. That is right. MOD, folks. Mod. And now this is obvious, right?
No.
No?
In fact, I feel like that makes it a little unfair. This is from a mod. This could be anything, dude.
Oh, now I'm going back over my hint. No, it's from a mod that... should I say so much? It's from a mod that we've talked about on this show, so people will be familiar about it.
Okay, because we only talked about 3 mods ever.
It's not like a random mod in like a niche game that like I purposefully searched so that it was the most obscure as possible. Like this is something we've talked about before, so hopefully that gives people what they need to guess. Play the sound one more time. Take that with you in your heart and guess the sound so we can move on.
Sounds like 2 ricochets while steam is billowing from a pipe. That's what it sounds like to me, but I don't know.
All right.
Listener questions, Bobby.
Listener questions. We've got a few of them. First one coming from Pyronical. He says, read us the last text you sent on your phone. So I read this in advance and I already looked it up and it's not very exciting. It just says on my way. That's my texts are not exciting, guys.
My last one was, what day? This looks so cool. My sister booked an Airbnb to visit me for the Calgary Comic Con, or Calgary Expo, it's called.
Bobby and I are in the have no time for anything group. So mine is also, where the fuck did it go? Oh, never mind. Okay. It said like leaving in 15 minutes, be there soon.
Yeah, that's the text you send to your girlfriend, so she's not going to get mad at you.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work.
Yeah, usually doesn't.
When did you guys get so boring? Gee, no, I was joking. All right.
Next question from Cornbread. Have any of you played a game genre that reignited your passion for those types of games? For me, Enshrouded reignited my love for survival crafters. I want to return to Valheim now and maybe even Conan Exiles.
That's not the first person I've heard about playing Enshrouded. I think it's got a good little following. It's no Valheim as far as like a cultural experience, but yeah, people are talking about Enshrouded for sure.
Yeah, it seems to be doing really well.
Reignited my passion for all those types of games. I'm just such a passionate guy. It's hard to reignite something that's being kept aflame within me. Yeah.
I mean, I talked about it earlier, but like Lorcana kind of reignited the whole TCG thing for me. So,
oh yeah,
we'll see where that ends up. But as far as video games, I don't
Guard
know,
Duty.
Man.
Bobby, do you remember Guard Duty from that guy you interviewed? It didn't really like reignite, maybe too big of a word, but as a kid I used to play those Myst and Riven games with my mom. That was the only kind of point and click adventures I played. And when I played Guard Duty, I was like, oh shit, I remember I do like these games. Like I like the investigation, I like the order of operations. So yeah, I wouldn't say reignite, but you know, the Myst remake came out and I've always been eyeing it up, so maybe it's time.
Yeah, every once in a while you play something and you're like, oh, I remember that I like this, but not enough that I'm like, I'm gonna go play some other one of these. You know? It's usually just a reminder.
That's how MMOs were for me. Every time I checked out the latest or greatest MMO that just came out, I just went back to WoW. It just made me want to go back and play World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
So
weren't we just talking about that? Oh, like with Spore. Yeah. Like this,
yeah.
Even seeing the concept, something that's a god simulator, like
Spore.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this and Spore. That's what I'm gonna go with. I can't think of anything else.
All right. Last question from Time Killer B. Would you guys consider a Midwest DLG for DLG Con 6?
Not only are we considering it, like I'm pushing hard for. I want a lake house in Michigan is what I'm pushing for. But we'll see what happens. I am not the dictator here, but
Yeah. We talked
we'll
a
see
lot
what
about
happens.
that. You know, we want something that's more accessible for everybody. If it's on one side of the country, that's a long trip for some people. So,
Say California 3 times. You mean?
yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So if we have something a little more in the middle, then it'll be easier for people to get to. And I think we do have a lot of people that come from that area.
It's
So
called the
yeah.
Midwest for a reason, probably. Just saying.
Yep.
And my company is entirely remote, and we have people from all over Canada, US, and Mexico. And our geographical center of all those people, I put it in like a simulator that tells us
Texas.
it is in now Eagle Eyes, Michigan.
Mm.
So I
Oh,
wonder
yeah.
if we did something, a geolocator, if people were comfortable with it for Discord, it would be cool to see what is the geographical heart of our community. Probably somewhere in the middle of the Pacific, since it's like a global show. But
Dude, we're about to invade and explode fucking Kirkplakistan, Arkansas. You know, like just some shit town. We all move in and start partying up.
have you guys heard of Magic the Gathering? Cool.
All right. Well, I guess that's an episode. What's everyone playing next week?
I haven't
Spore?
touched Cyberpunk. I'm gonna play a little more of that, and I want to play Lorcana online. Bobby, that sounds pretty cool, especially for free.
I put the link somewhere, but I'll
Yeah,
send it
I
to
saw
you.
it. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. That is, it's called the Pixelborn Launcher. You want the Pixelborn Launcher because that actually downloads all the stuff you need for you. It makes it super easy. Otherwise, you
One
got to go find the card backs and everything.
one mechanic I don't understand, Bobby, is how does song work?
Oh, that's easy. It's just an action, except you can use a character to play it instead of spending ink.
But you do have to sing it in
Yeah.
real life,
Oh, I see.
At
which
the
I've
top
heard
of your
Bobby has
lungs.
troubles with. Yeah.
right.
Spore, buddy. I mean, guys, it's 4 o'clock. I checked
Oh,
the clock.
Spore.
Sorry, guys. I have to open a jar for my weak woman. Here we go. Oh my god, I can't do it. Oh my god, it's so tough.
Get wrecked. All right.
Get wrecked.
I am going to play some more Pixelborn / Lorcana. So if anyone wants to play that with me, definitely. And I'll take you up on that Spore offer. Let's do it. Spore this week. It's going to be a Spore-centric episode.
We're going to get our spores everywhere, dude. Oh, okay.
Bobby, would you be willing, after I have dinner, to learn and play Magic with me tonight?
How do we do that online?
Through Magic Arena. So if you just go through the tutorial, you start with 5 decks, and it's the best tutorial possible.
All right. You talking about Commander or regular Magic?
Regular Magic.
I kind of already know how to play that, but maybe message me. Maybe.
Okay.
Sign us out, Emilio.
Speaking for Bobby, Christian, and myself, not WorldBox that isn't Spore titties. Everybody,
Bye.
bye.